Hi, I'm Well Guru, and today I'd like to talk about the stages of disease, or what we might call the spectrum of wellness. In Ayurveda, the ancient Indian system of medicine, disease doesn't appear overnight, it develops gradually through 6 distinct stages. While modern science is only beginning to understand the early processes behind disease formation, Ayurveda has long recognized that illness begins long before symptoms become noticeable. Most of us only become aware of disease when it reaches a more advanced stage, when the body's signals are strong enough to get our attention. But the real key to wellness lies in recognizing and addressing imbalances early on, before they progress into full-blown conditions. To make this idea more relatable, Ayurveda often uses the metaphor of water being poured into a container, a powerful image that illustrates how imbalances gradually accumulate until they overflow into visible disease. Here's how the metaphor maps onto ancient Ayurvedic wisdom. Stage 1. Accumulation. Imagine a container being filled with water, drop by drop. At first, everything seems fine. The water remains within the container's limits. Nothing appears to be wrong, because the body, like the container, has a natural capacity to absorb or drain these minor excesses. In a healthy system, this overflow is managed and cleared regularly, so the container never fills beyond its limit. But if the draining mechanism is compromised, or if the pouring continues unchecked, the container will slowly start to fill up, setting the stage for provocation. Stage 2. Aggravation, or provocation. The liquid level begins to rise, nearing the edge of the container. Pressure builds within, and the balance that once kept everything contained starts to shift. At this point, the system is under stress, and the first signs of overflow appear. Small drops may begin to spill over the edge. Stage 3. Spread. As the container overflows, liquid spills out continuously, running across the table and into surrounding spaces, spreading further. Stage 4. Localization. The overflowing liquid finds cracks in the ground and starts seeping into them, settling in weak spots. Stage 5. Manifestation. The damage is now visible: mold, warping, or corrosion caused by the liquid. It's no longer subtle. At this point, our senses detect the problem. It begins to bother us, signaling that it's time to seek help. Stage 6. Destruction, complication, or differentiation. The spilled liquid has penetrated beyond the surface, damaging deeper layers. The structure is now dying, breaking down from within. Now, let's review the 6 stages of disease as a spectrum. On the far left is the optimum and wellness stage. As we progress through accumulation, provocation, spread, and localization, we reach manifestation, and finally, destruction. This sequence aligns with another spectrum discussed in modern scientific literature, which moves from optimal wellness to general wellness, into a pre-disease stage, and ultimately into the state of disease itself. I'd like to emphasize that the approach which focuses on suppressing symptoms, bringing disease back to a stage where it's no longer felt, is essentially disease management. True health management, on the other hand, is the art and science of guiding the body back to balance and vitality as soon as we begin to drift away from wellness. It's a proactive return to wholeness, rather than a reactive response to illness. Let's identify it as health or wellness management. This has been an introduction to the 6 stages of disease in Ayurveda and a modern perspective on the spectrum of wellness. I'm Well Guru. Thank you for your attention.